Chapter 13.
I jabbed my finger into Calvin's shoulder as we jogged toward the end of the warehouse corridor. Wiley will deport me from Triton. And he'll tell you it's for your own good. I don't feel comfortable returning to your tracer downstairs. If they're coming after us, it won't be just one team. The maze of ice peaks stretched to the south. We need to get Wiley over here, on the roof, get us back to the Matterhorn. Understood. Calvin removed his zip from his belt, shielded Wiley's address.
Buck Wiley. Calvin, why is this shielded?
Wiley, this is Cobb. I need a tracer immediately on the top of Warehouse 16. We don't need to go back to the Matterhorn.
Cobb, what do you think, I run a taxi service?
It's an emergency. We think we're being trailed.
Forget it.
Transmission ended as we neared the roof. Calvin again inputted Wiley's address, but nothing connected. We burst onto an expansive maroon slab, hundreds of meters wide. He attempted 2 other addresses as we ran. He'll shut us out, Harry. Wiley's a funny guy. I bet he sends a tracer.
Welcome to Fitton's Time Machine for October 12th, 2015. When I do these podcasts, I want to convey my insights, thoughts about the world, and historical observations about my time travel novels. That is not the case today. Buck Wiley. Who is Buck Wiley, and what is he doing in Harry Cobb, the Ice of Triton, 150 years from now? I wanted to depart from the usual format because Buck Wiley is, and I say this without reservation, a pain in the ass. Yet Wiley has some endearing quality even when he annoys and stymies Cobb. Cobb, underneath it all, likes the guy. Wiley always has an attitude, and with that attitude comes the smart mouth. The other frustrating Wiley trait is his unequivocal ability as a lackey. He's willing to do whatever he has to do to protect his own position or gain a new position. The Ice of Triton, which does have a great science fiction motif, spectacular descriptions of Neptune and Triton, as well as an incredible and unusual plot concerning Cobb's old friends, means nothing. We're going to overlook all the spectacular and futuristic drama for Buck Wiley. Here is Buck Wiley in the Harry Cobb series, with Cobb masquerading as Bill McCabe in The Ice of Triton.
Rennie listened on the surrounds as I peered into deep space. What surprised me was that he argued so vehemently with someone on the channel.
You don't have that kind of authority, mister.
I spun around to the window. A tall man with a spotty gray, whiz-cut hair, very close to his skull, waved his arms. He had blue dog eyes and repeatedly exposed his lower teeth. Who the hell is that?
That, my friend, is Mr. Buck Wiley.
What a bilge loader. Wiley wore a charcoal-colored suco and paced around a room loaded with scanners and communications consoles. His voice was grating from the first word.
I don't have to tell you anything. You're asking questions about an ongoing investigation. And I'm the Station 32 officer in charge, pal.
Well, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Wiley squinted.
Ain't that nice? And who the hell are you?
Bill McCabe, ISB.
I don't see no identification on my zip.
Rennie slipped me a disc with the phony information. I stuck it into the communications port. Wiley leaned over and placed both hands on the counter and read the data.
Checks out. So you're the guy. We told the Bureau and the Insurer we don't want to be inundated with off-Tritoners.
It's just me and Mr. Coburn.
To me, this Balkan thing is plain and simple, an accident.
Wiley appeared as if he didn't want to know anything that might require him to perform extra duties. Right, I know that. All I'm asking for is Mr. Coburn and myself to do our job.
Well, don't expect me to be your lackey. I won't be intimidated by the Bureau.
Mark Belkin, where is he?
I told that guy,
he said, raising his index finger,
to back off.
It was his wife, Inspector.
I don't care if she was Neptune's mother. I'm aware of her resources assignment. We tracked her from her arrival and her setup, even on her night walks with her husband. Nothing out of the ordinary, and I ordered surveillance cut back.
Oh, really? There are things going on with Jenna Belkin, and you know it, Buck.
You're dreaming.
I'm aware that Station 32's colony has 5 million people and the conditions are not good,
Now I'm dealing with a social critic.
he said to the man behind him.
Look, this place is what it is.
I thought back about my short stay on Station 32 years ago. The dome was situated on the southern edges of a moon of Neptune, a distant settlement far out of the intrasolar system. Station 32 first housed uranium and metal miners from the prodigious Ice Mountains. It was a prosperous area until about 50 years ago, when the Jovian moon mines began booming. Wild stories, including human sightings, abounded this far out. Now Station 32 had a large populace with not enough jobs. People lived in crowded conditions and went to bed hungry. Jenna Belkin's visit to Triton was to help conditions on Station 32. Was there anything about her being there that would cause someone to be upset? Wiley shrugged his shoulders.
No, not at all. Unless you believe in little creatures and star trackers.
Jenna always talked about the possibility of off-solar life, humans.
She was originally here years ago. Look, McCabe, the old-time miners had legends. That's what happens when you have nothing to do.
Did her work upset anyone?
Getting shipments from resources was a good thing. You'd have to be insane to refuse food, and especially the energy.
Energy? I asked, but still did not reveal what I knew about O'Neill and the Ravine packets.
Right.
Anything unusual?
I know nothing, except Belkin and his wife were walkers. They kept in shape, I guess. I didn't see anything wrong in that. They were friends with David Tweed.
Who?
He's been the administrator for our prison, our one prison here on Station 32, for years. He goes way back. But I could care less about the Belkin social list.
Any place unusual they walked?
Look, McCabe, you find out if they walk down Lover's Lane at the prison. I've got things to do.
Why the prison? I stroked my chin. This guy was an annoyance. I want to know about the Ravine pilferage.
Ravine energy packets? I know nothing. That's not what they're paying you for.
Can you spare anyone to help us?
Do I look like a subcontract agency? Is the Bureau having budget cuts?
Oh, I thought someone familiar with the local terrain.
Try the security guy at the Matterhorn. He used to be with the Bureau. Ask him to play Sherlock Holmes.
The Bureau appreciates help, you know that.
Right. Bureau arrogance. Ravine packets. How did you come up with that one?
I know nothing.
Oh, funny man.
Will you let me know about Mark Belkin? We can't raise him on a zip.
Listen, if Belkin shows up, we'll buzz you.
Then his face assumed a seriousness, as if he were thinking about a lost love.
Look, McCabe, if I could help, if I had the opportunity, I'd do what I'm told. There are forces operating here that you don't want to know about.
What do you mean by that?
It means I just do what I have to do.
Well, what if somebody blew up that tracer? I said in a louder voice.
You have a conspiratorial mind.
If it wasn't something on Triton, then it had to be somebody she butted heads with.
Who knows? You'll have to determine that. We have people at the station hangar here to meet you. Then you're on your own.
We thank you.
Right. Wiley out.
I removed the surrounds. Rennie closed his eyes and shook his head.
I'd like to zap his zip.
I know nothing. He's all right, Rennie.
All right. Come on, mate.
He said, setting down his mug, and he stood.
I hate this Triton mentality. The guy's a little weasel, whichever way the wind is blowing.
So, what's the big deal? Rennie's blue eyes popped open, and I laughed as I put my hand on his shoulder. Wiley is not our problem.
He could be.
They just can't get rid of this guy throughout the whole book.
Wiley took over an hour to dock. We were brought aboard a blue and white Station 32 tracer with 2 armed guards and a pilot. He brought us back to a comfortable cabin, and we were seated in what looked like a bar. Overhead portals brought in signals from the Chesapeake, where crowds were gathering for Alder's ascendancy to power in less than 36 hours. The skysweeper's white and silcoplath monoliths overshadowed the older Navy buildings around Annapolis, and the deep blue ocean contrasted the huge blue planet to my right.
I've been in an extended conversation,
said Wiley, stroking his peppered goatee,
since I last talked to you clowns. You listen to me,
said O'Neill, standing.
the only clown is that man down in Annapolis about to be inaugurated.
What did he tell you, Buck?
My contact is Phil Severinson, and I think your brand of rowdies killed Herzog on that cargo ship, Cobb. Then you let all those bureau people on a merry chase with your joy run.
Does Phil know you have us?
Hey, I ain't gonna discuss nothing. That tells me what I want to know,
said O'Neill as he leaned on the table.
You know nothing either. Let's get the hell out of here.
Where are we going?
We have a woman in custody who smashed that zip you placed in the Matterhorn wine cellar.
My heartbeat accelerated, not only at the thought of Angelique being alive, but because she prevented Wiley from finding evidence that could be sent to Alder.
I think there was something on Janet Balkin on that zip. You guys wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
None of us said a word or even flinched.
What am I looking at here? The three deaf, dumb, and blind brothers?
Look, Wiley, I for one don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right.
Why are you so concerned about us now? 3 days ago you were dropping the matter.
Your buddy Gavin was murdered.
My eyes moistened. What do you know about his murder?
How did he die? Cobb, you're a blippin' real ball he's. Probably why you were a good bureau agent.
He's is not appropriate. I'm not a bender of rules. I leaped from the chair and grabbed his Suco. Now why don't you tell us where we're going? The Station 32 guards had pulses at my temple before Wiley could begin another tirade. They forced me to the bench and kept pulses at my head.
Cobb, if they didn't need your testimony, I'd blow your head off. Wiley, we can deal. Just don't bring us to Alder. I hardly think you have anything I want.
His laughter upset me, but O'Neill was not deterred.
What do you want? You're a small-time operator, pal.
He stood up again.
You think I'm that petty I can be brought down so easily? I can make you a planetary administrator.
Wiley's head snapped.
Big promises. That's the oldest trick in the book. Do you know Everett Millington? ELS?
Wiley walked toward O'Neill.
Right. Well, you call ELS on your zip and you tell him what I just told you and see what he says.
Wiley stroked his chin and his blue eyes darted.
I don't know.
You're always worried about which side to be on, Buck. ELS is on the side that can benefit you the most. Very simple. Planetary administrator. Wiley stood.
I don't believe you. We're going to Alder.
I continued to be mesmerized by the white assembly buildings along the blue ocean back on Earth. Another guard opened the door.
Sir, pilot says your frequency has been accepted.
Good.
Tell him I'll be right there.
Yes, sir. Then Wiley pointed at all of us.
You bastards don't know what kind of trouble you've created.
Then he thought.
No, the trouble you're in. I think we do, Mr. Wiley,
said O'Neill.
You're a bluffer.
He glared at us and then stomped out front with the two guards. The door slid and then locked into place. I started to pace.
Who's he talking to? Better hope it isn't Alder.
O'Neill's left eyebrow moved upward.
I think that is exactly who he's talking to.
And we'd better find a way from Wiley and somehow get into the Sorazin.
The ship is moving back to the intersolar system. We have little chance to get to the infamous waters of oblivion.
From the obvious acceleration, I knew we were now moving away from Triton. I banged my hand on the side panel. We need to take this ship.
Oh? Harry, that's not going to happen.
Less than an hour later, Wiley returned and told us we were headed directly toward Earth. Then he faced O'Neill.
Tell me about this Millington thing, exactly what you know. Why? Because I can divert you from Alder. We do have that information, Buck. Yeah, what? Enough to raise suspicions about Alder. What do you mean by that? Bring us back to Triton.
He thought about what O'Neill said. Then he raised his index finger.
Nope. Your offer about Millington means nothing unless you ruin Alder.
True. That's why we have to go back to Triton and contact Levinsky.
Levinsky? Why Levinsky?
Asked Wiley, moving closer. I made eye contact with O'Neill, but he spoke first.
Just look at it as another step closer to Millington.
Wiley nodded and kept thinking. Then he shook his head.
Nope, I'm not convinced. Tell me, then I'll consider it. I don't trust you,
answered O'Neill.
Good, I wouldn't trust me either. But I can tell you this, and you can take it to your droid bands. You'll be questioned, probably by Alder himself. Then you'll be killed. And me, I rise to a higher position. Not a planetary administrator, but I rise.
I wouldn't trust him. He may just kill you. Did you ever think of that? Nice try, Inspector.
He turned to leave, and then he slowly faced us. I thought he was thinking about what Patino just told him.
I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal. I like deals, Buck. Okay, here's the deal. You tell me everything you know, and I'll let you go.
O'Neill's head tilted back as he bellowed.
You must think we have important information. And you must think I'm a fool. Well, that's pretty accurate,
replied O'Neill as both Patino and I smiled.
No deal,
said Wiley, and his face flushed.
You clowns just hung yourselves.
Hanged.
Hang, who the hell cares?
He marched from the cabin. The doors opened, and I approached O'Neill.
He'll cave. I'm not so sure. We don't know what Alder offered him. He'd love to get our zip comb and then kill us.
I don't figure Wiley as a killer. Weasel, yes. Killer, no. I looked over at O'Neill, leaning against the wall.
Well, John?
He tightened his brow.
Gentlemen, the prognosis is not good.
Characters such as Wiley spice up an otherwise dull voyage and adventure on Triton. Wiley is constant, like a pesky mosquito. He is consistently irritating and a hindrance to Cobb's investigation. All that being said, I'm tempted to bring him back in the next Harry Cobb installment. This is Robert P. Fitton, and I've been zooming into the future with Buck Wiley. Fitton time travel books abide by historical events as they happened. Music, television, and daily events are concurrent with the time travel plot.